Don't touch it. Well, we made it. Here we are. All of us. We made it. It's a success story, really. Is this thing on? Out in the village of Mark 2, on the side of their gob pile, you can see a huge figure, size of a dinosaur, running up and down. Long ago, they paid the famous troll killer, Big Bob, $100 to go get rid of the figure. They were sick of it. You know how it can get. So, Big Bob put on his famous burlap helmet and went up, but he came back down after about an hour saying he hadn't seen anything up there. Smart aleck villager came over and pointed at the figure in the distance, still going up and down the gob pile, and asked Big Bob if he needed glasses. Whereupon, Big Bob destroyed the villager and rode back to Henrytown. They say Big Bob was the best troll killer you ever saw. He had this Nelson he'd do. He was a great, big, sexy kind of a guy, you know. Wore his hair in a beautiful low fade. He always had suggestions for you, or a request, like if you went up to his place, before he'd let you come in, he'd ask you how you got there, what route you took from town. He'd look out and tell you another way to get there for next time. On your way out, he'd give you a clock radio or some gadget, maybe a boombox, and ask you to take it in for repair since you were going right by there. He'd be standing there, holding the boombox and looking into your eyes. He was awesome. Big Bob loved holding things in his hands, such as rabbits or a boombox. He liked to yell at people. He liked biscuits and would sometimes toss them at people as a goof. Now there's something that really hasn't been documented very much. The way old Big Bob would toss biscuits at people as a goof. He never learned your name, called everybody Brian. He wasn't a religious man. Once a neighbor asked Big Bob if he believed in God, and he picked up a biscuit and tossed it at the neighbor. The biscuit hit the neighbor's arm and landed in the dirt. The neighbor looked straight at him. They say he killed 5,000 Confederate cattle during the march using that Nelson he'd do. He'd draw up and execute the Nelson, and the animal would sit there and die. One thing about it, the Army never issued Big Bob a uniform. Never you mind he was too big, they just didn't want him to have one. Nobody wanted to have to see him in a uniform. They loved him too much. He could just wear whatever. Had this kind of a weird tan jacket he wore all the time, plus his famous burlap helmet. He was just a real physical guy. After the war, Big Bob came back and settled in Henrytown, and using his Nelson, killed every troll in 100 miles, plus their cattle. He was a pretty good-natured guy. When he did storm a troll village, he always spared their infants and children. He took them and kept them out at his place and brought them up himself. He always had land in those days. He used to walk his bean fields with the troll children, always telling them he was not their natural father. I'm not your real daddy, he would say. Forget about what you heard against that. If they tell you different, tell me, and I will kill them all.